In this video, I'd like to show you some selected new features and improvements in our most recent version of Astrée, release 23.10. We have further improved our call graph view for functions. Also, we have updated our new project wizard. Users now have the option to specify JSON files for a compilation database importer early in the project creation. Furthermore, Astrée 23.10 comes with a new report preset that specifically focuses on data races. As new features, Astrée and all of its components now communicate encrypted via transport layer security. These new features also include OAuth 2.0 support. We have further improved our tooltips, which can now even show you value ranges of subexpressions. From 23.10 on, the data flow view will show you dynamic memory blocks. New in Astrée is the capability to use delta analysis for comments. We further improved Astrée's handling of C++ analysis. Stubs now understand std vector and std string. And lastly, Astrée's RuleChecker component from now on fully supports MISRA C 2023. Let us begin with the improved call graph view. If I load a project and run an analysis, I can now navigate to Results, Control Flow, and then select a function which I like to view the call graph for. Right-clicking on it and selecting Display Call Graph opens the call graph view with the selected function as a root. If I now expand the vertex by double-clicking on it, I see more information regarding the corresponding function. I see how many errors, alarms, and rule violations occur in this function, as well as how many times the analyzer passed it. Additionally, the time in seconds needed for the analyzer in total and the sum total analysis time spent in this function is shown. Of course, multiple vertices can be unfolded at the same time. Like this. In the improved new project wizard, Astrée now provides the option to set a project up from scratch by using our compilation database importer early on. In order to do that, I create a new project. In this case, I like to select a new C++ project. Then I give my project a name. And then I select the radio button Import from Compilation Database. In the now shown component, I can give the wizard the path to a .json file that functions as a compilation database. After I click Finish, you can see that the information from my JSON file compilation database, like source code files, include paths, macros, etc., are extracted and applied to this new project. In case you are specifically interested in the report of data races, Astrée now comes with a predefined report to account for exactly that. To create such a report, open a project with a successfully finished analysis. In the Results node, select Reports. If you click the green plus button in the lower pane, the data race report is shown as a new predefined configuration. As with all predefined configurations, you can write out the report in the formats .txt, .html, and .csv. Let us create and open a .html report now. You can see that this report now specifically focuses on data races. As of version 23.10, all Astrée architectural components communicate encrypted. This affects the communication between analysis clients and analysis servers, as well as the communication between analysis servers and the AbsInt license manager ALM. In the server controller, on the tab Management, you can now view your custom ALM certificate, as well as view and set your analysis server's X509 certificate, which can be done by a click on this button, Configure TLS Encryption. Options to verify server certificates on Connect are also available here. Users additionally have the option to hand over their user authentication to a custom and trusted authorization server. This approach is achieved by using the OAuth 2.0 protocol and can also be configured in the server controller on the tab Users. After a click on Auth Settings, a new window opens where Astrée administrators can choose between the former internal authorization backend and the new OAuth 2.0 authorization backend, where authorization can be handed off to a custom and trusted server. Our tooltips have improved again to now also show the values of sub-expressions. Let me show you an example. As you can see here, the two sub-expressions 0 less equal than message ID and message ID less or equal to 99 now have their own tooltips with useful information. This applies to many types of sub-expressions and will support you even better when performing analysis. From version 23.10 on, the data flow view will show you dynamic memory blocks. In this minimal C++ example, where we just create a new integer and assign it to a matching pointer, we can navigate to Results, then Global Data Flow. In the All Variables view, we can see a new type of entry, in this case, new exclamation mark 2048. If we click on it, all dynamic memory blocks accesses are listed. In this case, one implicit initialization write access, one where we specifically assign a value to the pointer, and lastly, one read access where the written value is read again to be eventually returned. With Astrée version 23.10, the RuleChecker component now also supports MISRA C 2023. To enable those new rule checks, as usual, navigate to Settings, Rules, and then activate the desired checks for your configurations of choice. The new Astrée version now also supports a new type of comments called diff comments. These are part of our soon-to-come delta analysis. Diff comments are even more resilient to code changes than AAL comments. You can activate diff comments as a project setting in the information view, preferred comment mode, diff. If you then comment an alarm, your comments will show up under Options and Diff comments. Let's comment a second one. Then navigate to Options, Diff comments. Let us now change the pre-processed code a bit. even delete a code line with a commented alarm, and then rerun the analysis. If we now navigate back to diff comments, we see the code location of our second comment changed to the correct line number, while the alarm comment of our deleted code line is indicated with an unused sign. You also have the option to convert your existing alarm comments, AAL alarm comments, to diff comments if you prefer. As a last selected item for this video, I like to mention analysis improvements for C++ analysis. Concretely, we have improved the precision and handling for std vector and std string. The analysis will now better handle projects containing these constructs. To use the appropriate stubs, simply activate the Use Abstract Stubs for the C++ standard template library in the preprocessor settings. As always, there are many more improvements of Astrée since the last version. You can read the complete changelog on our website www.absint.com. If you have any questions or remarks, or are curious to try out one of our tools yourself, do not hesitate to write us an email to info@absint.com. Thank you for watching. See you next time.